Hey there, everybody. Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, 1971, September 3rd, Friday. It's Mets at Phillies, Mets at Veterans Stadium. And the lineup for the Mets is Harrelson at short, Foley at second, Jones in left field, Clendenin cleanup, Agee in right field, Aspromonte at third, Duffy Dyer at catcher, Hahn in center field, and Ray Sadecki at pitcher. He's a C today, by the way. For the Phillies, the hometown Phillies, it's Boa, McCarver, and Anderson. Darren Johnson, Luzinski, and Montanez, Heisel, Harmon, and then Ken Reynolds. And he's a B pitcher. So let's start rolling. We're playing Fall Classic Baseball. We're throwing reading the 2d6, the blue first. We start off the batter. It's a 16. That'll be an out. And what kind of an out? That's an 11. So that'll be bounced to short. Picked up by Boa, and he throws out Harrelson for out number one. Next is Tim Foley. And that's a 52, and that should be a no, it's not a KD. It's probably going to be an error on the third baseman. A one ground ball to third. He bobbles it. And we'll just double check. Who's that? Darren Johnson playing third today. And that's an error on Darren Johnson. So Foley's on at first. Cleon Jones is going to bat. And that's a 33, and that's ripped to left center field. Foley, I don't think he's going to go to third. He will stop at second. He can risk it, but he will not. It's to right, and the right fielder, Montanez, in right field. Oh, he will risk it. So it's one. He's got a weak arm, Montanez in right field. So 1 to 5, he's safe at third, and he is safe at third. So he does risk it. First and third now. So Cleon Jones bangs one to right center field. And the Mets got runners on first and third here with Don Clendenin stepping in the box to bat. Here's the pitch to Clendenin. That's a 22, and that is going to be hit hard right at the shortstop. Taylor made double play, flips to second base for one. Back to Luzinski, and that's a 6-4-3 double play. No runs, one hit, one left, and we move to the bottom of the first. No score for the Mets, and the Phillies coming to bat. Larry Boa, switch hitter, facing the lefty Sadecki. That's a 15, and that'll be right back to Sadecki, who feels it. Over to first in time. Larry Boa heads back to the bench with the first out for the Phils here in the bottom of the first, and it's Tim McCarvey bats from the left side with a 22, and that'll be a ball four. Check swing, and he gets the call. Ball four, and he walks down at first base. Here's Mike Anderson. We're going to see a hit and run here, and that's 7 will be a fly ball to center field. Next is Darren Johnson. 2 out, runner on first, and that's a 23. Struck him out. No runs, no hits, a walk, one left. We move to the top of the second. Playing Fall Classic Baseball. I finally received my perforated paper. So that'll give me a chance to print and then just kind of separate, which is really cool. And that's 50, and that'll be a line drive to right. Agee rips one, but right at the right fielder. Montanez, who gets there in plenty of time. Here's Aspromonte, right-handed hitter. Third baseman for the Mets with a 46 and a 20. That's going to take us to the wildest section. Nobody on base, wildest section. And that's a pop out to shallow center. And it's going to be the second baseman calling for it. Oh, almost a collision. Harmon comes up with it. Here's Duffy Dyer. And Duffy Dyer with a check swing. They ask the first base umpire, and he rings them up, and Dyer doesn't like that at all. No runs, no hits. And he's saying something under his breath. And we go to the bottom of the second inning. It's going to be Greg Luzinski leading off. He's a first baseman, 32. And Sadecki, what do we say he was a C? So we'll do this to Sadecki. And 32 will be a ball hit right back to Sadecki. Second one he's got at first, on the mound. Here's Montanez with a 15, and again, a ball that's hit it right back to the pitcher. And Larry Heisel with a 63, and that'll be bounced to third base. Aspromonte fires the first, and in time, that retires the side. And we're going to the top of the third inning with a 64, and that'll be Reynolds is a B pitcher. So we're going to set that up quickly. Yeah, here's the B pitcher, so we'll do... Actually, you know what? Problem solved. That way we know exactly where to look and we don't have to worry about it anymore. All right, and that's a 64, and that'll be a ground ball to third base for out number 1. Nicely, cleanly handled by Darren Johnson, who's a first baseman, normally playing third base today. 45, and that'll be an out. Fly ball to left field for Sadecki. Flies one to Heisel, who squeezes it for out number 2. And here is Harrelson with a 66, and that is a drive down the line. Fair ball into the left field corner, and after it, misplaying it a bit off the wall is Heisel. And digging for third is Harrelson. Here's the throw, the tag, and he is safe with a 2-out triple, Buddy Harrelson. So he stands at third base. Here's Foley. That's a 21, and that'll be strike 3. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We move to the bottom of the third. Terry Harmon up next, and that's a 23, and that'll be strike 3. Strikeout for Sadecki. Pitcher coming up, Kenny Reynolds. And that is a 62, which should be a strikeout, and it is. Back-to-back Ks for Ray Sadecki. Next is Larry Boa with a 33, and that is bounced up the middle and through into center field for a 2-out single, so Boa's on at first. Stepping to the plate is the lefty Tim McCarver. Here's a pitch from Sadecki, lefty on lefty, 62, struck him out. Chase a curveball in the dirt, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We got top of the fourth. 0-0 pitchers duel here, and it's Cleon Jones, and Cleon Jones with a 56, and that's a strikeout. He heads back to the bench with the pine on his shoulders. Don Clendenin now with a 32, and that's a fly ball to left. Backing up is the left fielder Heisel, and almost trips but makes the catch. Got his feet tangled up backing up there. And here's Tommy Agee with a 32, and that'll be a fly to center field. On the run is Anderson, and will he get there? Yes. Makes the catch. No runs, no hits, none left. Bottom of the fourth coming up. Mike Anderson with a 34, and that'll be a ball that's pulled and through the hole into left field. Mike Anderson gets it through the hole between the shortstop and the third baseman. Darren Johnson with a 55, and that's a drive. That's going to split the outfielders and roll to the wall. And they're going to hold up Anderson at third base. It's going to be second and third here for the Phillies against Ray Sadecki. Greg Luzinski now. And what we're going to do is intentionally walk Luzinski And we're going to allow a run and play for the double play here. Against Martinez, here's the pitch, and that is a 14, and that's just what the doctor ordered. The ball is hit to first. It's a 3-6-3 double play with a run scoring. But the Mets, so going to third is Darren Johnson. So now there's 2 outs, runner on third, 1 run scores, 1-0 Phillies. And it's Larry Heisel. So Sadecki checks in with Dyer for the side, sets and deals, and that's a 34, and that is a base hit. A little check swing blooper that drops in. And run scores. So RBI. So it's 2-0. 2 outs and a runner on first. Here's Terry Harmon. Harmon with a 65, and that'll be a pop-up to the left side. Third baseman in fair territory with plenty of room. And Aspromonte makes the third out. But 2 runs come in that inning on 3 hits. And the Phillies lead at 2-0. We go to top of the 5th. Aspromonte leading it off with a 62, and that'll be that'll be bounced to second base. That's an easy play for Harmon, who throws out Aspromonte. Duffy Dyer is next with 35, and that'll be a little ground ball, and that's through into left field. Don Hahn is next with a 63. That'll be an out, fly ball, center field. On the run is Anderson, and Anderson comes up with it back to first. Dyer, and here's Ray Sadecki with a 54 chart. It's going to be a wild pitch. It's a 1. That's going to be a pass ball. Ball gets by McCarver. And McCarver, yep, he will pick up that pass ball. First and runner at second base, and Sadecki's still up. Here he comes. Pitch from the lefty Reynolds, and that's a 35, and that'll be bounced up the middle and through. Let's see if a run scores on this. And a run will score. So it's a 2-1 ball game thanks to the pitcher, who comes up with an RBI, supporting his own cause. Fall Classic Baseball, 2-1, top of the 5th inning. I got another excellent game here, playing a late night game, 3 a.m. Woke up, couldn't sleep, and feeling good now. 45, and that's going to be an out. That's going to be a ground ball to short. Easy pickings for Boa, who fires to first, and that retires the side. 1 run on a couple of hits, and a pass ball. So that's going to be an unearned run for Reynolds. We're going to go to the bottom of the 5th. Sadecki to the pitcher Reynolds. It's going to be a 53 and a 1. Struck him out. And otherwise, that would be a range check. Next up is Boa. Boa with a 14, and that's a fly ball. Can of corn for the center fielder, Hahn. And it's McCarver with a 33, and that's line base hit. McCarver stands at first base with 2 outs. Here's Mike Anderson, pitch to Anderson with a 53. That's a range check, 14, unless it's to the shortstop. To the second baseman. Probably going to get through Tim Foley. Tim Foley at second base is a 9, so that's going to be a base hit. A 1 base. McCarver stops at second base, so it's first and second. And here's Darren Johnson. He doubled earlier. And he's going to 42. This may be a base on balls, and it is, and that loads the bases. Now we're considering a pitching change with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Who's coming up? Greg Luzinski. Decisions. I'm going to let Sadecki pitch. Still early in the game, and that's going to be a 53 with a 12. That's a range check. And it's going to be the shortstop, and playing shortstop is Harrelson. He gets that ball, steps on the bag, and that retires the side. And it's a nice play by Harrelson to get to a ball that you didn't think he was going to get to. Ball hit up the middle. He got there and he stepped on the bag himself, so it's no runs on a couple of hits. I put a little star in that box for Harrelson's, and then I wrote a 6 there. Harrelson gets a star defensive play. I believe he won a Gold Glove in 1971. I still got to check that. All right, so the score is 2-1. We're going into the top of the 6th. Kenny Reynolds and Ray Sadecki are locked in a pitcher's duel. Kenny Reynolds can only go 27, but he's got a shutout because the run scored on an error. So let's do this. Here's a pitch, and that's going to be a 14, which would be bounced to second base for Foley. And Foley hustles down the line, and the throw gets him by half a step. So Harmon looks like he misjudged Foley's speed, but that's going to be a range check, 53. And a range check is going to be to the third baseman. That's a pretty high number, so maybe a hit. And let's see, Darren Johnson. Yes, base hit for Jones. A ball that Darren Johnson was just not going to be able to get. Don Clendenin now. Here's the pitch, and that's a 54 chart. So a 54 chart says wild pitch an 8. For Reynolds, wild pitch will be a 1-18, so that will be a wild pitch. First and second base now for Jones. And here's Clendenin again. Pitch from Reynolds. It's a 42, and that will be ball 4. So that puts runners on first and second. And now we're going to have to start thinking about, again, it's the top of the 6th. I'm not one to have a quick hook in 1971. All right, so we're going to let him pitch. Kenny Reynolds, 1 out. Runners on first and second. Here's the pitch to AG. AG with a 12. 12 is a 1-15 base on balls, ball 4, and that loads the bases. All right, so now we got the bases loaded with 1 out. And we are going to have to be forced to bring the corners in, and we're going to leave the middle halfway for the double play. It's Bob Aspromonte. Here's a pitch. And that's a 36, and that'll be an out. What kind of an out? Oh, that may turn into the double play that we wanted. It's going to be hit to the third baseman. But third baseman Johnson is a W arm, so he's not going to pull it off. And let's see, bases loaded, hit to the third baseman. And the third baseman, is playing in. So the third baseman, that's right, he was playing in. And who's up? Montanez, a lefty, so it's not hit to the, wait a second. Aspromonte, a righty. So it's going to go to the third baseman with the bases loaded. And he's going to go home and get the runner out at home, so it's going to be a fielder's choice. Out at home is Jones. It's going to be a 5-2 for Jones. That gets him at home, and everybody moves up 1. So there's 2 outs now, and it's Duffy Dyer. And that's a 45, and that'll be an out. Be a ground ball to short, and that ends the inning. So the Mets failed to capitalize on a bases loaded 1 out situation, no runs, 1 hit, 3 left, and we moved to the bottom of the 6th inning. So that was exciting. All right, Willie Montanez now. Ray Sadecki. Remember, I had the corners in. That's what saved me. 14, and that will be a 1. So it's going right back up the middle, and Sadecki grabs it, bobbles it for a second, but then fires the first and gets Montanez. Next is Larry Heisel with a 23, struck him out. 2 outs for Sadecki. Up is Terry Harmon, who batted .204 and 200 at-bats in that season. In that 71 season. And it's going to be a 56, and it should be strike 3. No runs, no hits, none left. We go to the top of the 7th inning. In the top of the 7th is Don Hahn. And that's going to be the pitcher. We'll probably see a pinch hitter. Here it is. And that's a 36. And that'll be a fly ball to right field. On the run is Montanez. And Montanez comes up with a sharp line drive hit by Hahn to the opposite field. And it's Montanez who comes up with it. So now Sadecki is up. And you know what? We're gonna let him bat. Top of the 7th, we are down. We're gonna bring in a pinch hitter. It's gonna be Kenny Singleton. So Kenny Singleton's gonna come up to bat. And then we'll see who we bring in. And here's a pitch with a 1 out. It's gonna be a 35, and that will be a base hit. Oh, wait a second. No, he's going to move to, now it's the 7th inning, so he moves up 1. And that 35 is going to be an out. It's going to be bounced to second base, a ball that Harmon comes up with over to first and in time to get Singleton. Because by the 7th inning, if you got a shutout going, you move 1 up. And he went from a B to an A because he started off with a B, but he's got, even though has given up a run, it's been an unearned run because of that pass ball. Without the pass ball, wouldn't have scored, and that pass ball is an error on the catcher. So there's 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Buddy Harrelson's up. And Buddy Harrelson bounces 1 to short. Boa, long throw in time. 3 up, 3 down. We go to a 7th inning stretch. Head over to the concession, grab your brewski. It's going to be Ken Reynolds leading off, and we're going to let on. Let's see. Ken Reynolds had 2 complete games in 25 starts. So we're going to let him go at least until we'll let him go the 8th. So we'll let him bat here. And we need a new pitcher, and that'll be, we'll do Frizzell on that. And Frizzell will be a B. Bottom of the 8th. And that'll be a 31, which is a base hit for Reynolds. And Bo's going to square. Is he a good bunter? Not really. You'd think he would be, but no, he strikes out. So bunts 2-strike pitch, foul. And here's Tim McCarver. We're going to try to hit and run with McCarver. And that is going to be an 8, which will be a bouncer to second base. Runner will move up. And Mike Anderson now with 2 out. With a 62, and that strikes him out. In the inning, so no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to top of the 8th inning. That was the bottom of the 7th, by the way. I wrote the bottom of the 8th there. Let me just fix that real quick so it's clear. Kind of sloppy. Hope everybody's doing well. Playing an excellent game here, 2-1. Probably have to play 1 more game after this. I'm awake now. All right, so it's going to be Tim Foley leading off against Kenny Reynolds. Foley with a 22, and that'll be a strikeout. Cleon Jones, who's 2 for 3 today, and he will have his. No, he will not. It'll be an out. It'll be a ground ball to third base, actually shortstop. And Boa makes a nice play over to first in time. Don Clendenin with 2 outs and nobody on, and that's going to be a 46 and a 10. And that's foul back, a souvenir for a lucky fan. There's another pitch. And it's a 63, and that'll be a fly ball. As a drive to center. On the run is Anderson, and Anderson catches up to it. So Clendenin gave it a ride, but stayed in the park. The wind must have kept it in, blowing in from center field. So no runs, no hits, none left. We went to the bottom of the 8th inning. Danny Frizzella. Darren Johnson with a 16, struck him out. Greg Luzinski's next. And that's a 54 chart. 54 chart will say fly ball to left. We're going to roll for the error on Cleon Jones. And will he make the error? Cleon Jones does make the error. And we're going to have to check the, it's called the exotic error chart. And that's to the left to the outfielder. And this is going to be a 6. And that's going to be a single plus an error. So it's a drops in, it's a single, and the error on Jones puts a runner at second base. Luzinski at second base. He's an average speed guy. And here's Willie Montanez. Pitch to Montanez, and that's going to be a 63, which will be strike 3. And that's 2 outs now. 2 strikeouts for Frizella in this inning, with Larry Heisel stepping up to the plate. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI today. Picked up a single in the 4th inning. Here's a pitch, and that's a 33, and that is ball 4. It's gonna put runners on first and second for Frizella. And now it's Terry Harmon. 25, and that'll be against the lefties a single. Otherwise, it's a bounce out to third to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, an error, and a walk. A couple of guys left. We move to the top of the 9th. And Reynolds has a shutout going here. He had only 2 complete games. So I will be pulling him. For their closer. Let's see who their closer is. Not sure who it is, but we'll see in a second. Let's see what Harrelson, 6'3". So their closer is Joe Horner. But they also have another guy. They got Horner's been overused. Bunning. We're going to bring in Jim Bunning, because their other guys have been overused already, so I'm not going to keep on slamming them with more work. We're going to go and grab a guy who still has opportunities to come in to pitch. And it's going to be Bunning. Let's see if we can find him here somewhere. Ah, there he is. Just saw him. Jim Bunning. See what kind of stuff he will have today. He will have his A stuff. So Bunning comes in with his A stuff, pitching to 3 righties. And here goes to the first righty. That's a 63, and that is a pop-up to first base. Right there is Luzinski to make a catch. Next is Aspromonte. And we will bring in Boswell to pinch hit for Aspromonte. Okay, Boswell. And here's a pitch to Kenny Boswell with a 45, and that'll be a fly ball, center field. Easy play for Anderson. So the Mets are down to their last out here in the top of the 9th inning, a 2-1 ball game. And it's going to be Duffy Dyer. We will let him bat. We also could bring, we're going to bring in Cranepool to pinch hit. We have another catcher there anyway. Pinch hit Cranepool. He's a lefty. And here it is. Pitch from Bunning, and that's going to be a 43, which will be a ground ball. Shortstop Boa charges it, barehands it, fires, and in time. No runs, no hits. That's the ball game, folks. The Phillies pull it out 2-1 against the Mets. The Mets had only 4 hits in the game. Mets committed an error. It was the Cleon Jones error. An error also committed by the Phillies, and the Phillies had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. So it's So the Phillies pull it out. They beat the Mets 2-1. Really, it was Reynolds who pitched a masterful game today for the Phillies. Kenny Reynolds, the lefty. And that's about it. So this is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, Fall Classic Baseball. Check it out, try it out. 100 seasons, all the players. Now you can, with the perforated paper, when you buy the PDF and you print them out, they'll all be nice. You can just separate them like you would Stratomatic, which is kind of cool and kind of fun. And I will see you guys very soon. So long.